On a cold Wednesday in Nashville, Tennessee, a small outpost of the Mexican government is in full swing. The Mexican consulate on wheels, Consulado sobre Ruedas, travels across Alabama, Georgia and Tennessee, helping thousands of Mexican immigrants register births, notarize documents and print new passports. When it's in Nashville, it sets up shop in a local mall. Like many other Latinos living in Tennessee, Victor Gonzalez lived in the gateway states of Texas and New Mexico before moving to a small town near Nashville.
Conociendo a un compañero, me invitó a venir a Nashville, Tennessee. Me dijo que pues el clima estaba mejor, la fuente de trabajo era más activa. Y sí, realmente hasta ahorita de los 10, 12 años que tengo aquí en Nashville, no he parado de trabajar.
A decade ago, the Consulado sobre Ruedas did not exist here, but demand for its services is rising. Since 1990, Tennessee's capital has seen its Latino population grow 13-fold, making it one of the fastest-growing Hispanic cities in America. By the middle of the century, more than 1 in 4 Americans will be Hispanic, making Nashville a window onto the future. The city's Latinos face many of the same challenges as their counterparts across America. Often, they will be confronted with an anti-immigration backlash. They will also find it difficult to attain higher education, and in some cases, they will struggle to achieve full citizenship.
When I arrived in 1996, there was already a sense that Latinos and other immigrants were starting to be a presence in communities.
Renata Soto is the founder of Conexión Américas, an organization working with Hispanic immigrants in Nashville. She thinks that there were 2 seminal moments in Nashville's relationship with its Hispanic population.
Giving people the opportunity to have their license became one of the very first politicized policies in many states, and Tennessee didn't escape that conversation.
By 2007, Tennessee's rapidly changing demography had sparked a nativist backlash. As many as 65 anti-immigrant bills were proposed by state legislators. One successful one meant that immigrants who'd been granted driver's licenses could now be stopped and subjected to immigration checks.
The argument was that we didn't need to make our states welcoming to people who didn't have documents to be here, and that by not offering a driver's license will make their lives harder. Now the very basic drive to take a child to school or to go to work became a very fearful trip. What if I'm stopped? What if I don't make it back home?
The second key moment came in 2009, when Nashville held a referendum on making English the official language of the city.
The English language amendment, as it appears on the January 22nd referendum ballot, reads, English is the official language of the metropolitan government of Nashville and Dayton.
To me, it seems sort of a mean-spirited way of saying, don't come here, or we'll make it, things won't be easy here.
Carl Dean has been Nashville's mayor since 2007.
We had a great coalition right across the gamut of politics of people saying this is not what Nashville is about. We are a friendly, open city, and we do not want to project that image to the rest of the world. And it was beat soundly.
The English-only referendum was the high watermark for nativism in Nashville. Since it was overturned, anti-immigration sentiment has declined in urban areas of Tennessee. By 2012, the flow of anti-immigration bills had also slowed at the state level. But beyond the backlash, there are other challenges facing Hispanic immigrants.
I started working at a really young age. I was around 12, 13 years old. My dad got this place. Ever since then, it's constantly been get up in the morning, go to school, get out from school, go home, get dressed, and come here. We close at 9, we go home, and I regularly stay up late to do my homework.
Even though they may not have finished school themselves, foreign-born parents often pin their families' hopes on their children's educational achievements. It makes sense. Schooling is a crucial vehicle for social mobility. Despite this, in America, Hispanics have the highest rate of high school dropouts.
And he wanted us to never fall into what he did, living that struggle life that we lived. So he didn't want us to start working at a young age and quit school. So he wanted a better future for us.
Some of Nashville's schools, like Overton High School, which Marisol attends, are working to close the gap by providing things like intensive English tutoring and free bus passes for students whose parents may be afraid to drive them to school because of the license law. At the tertiary level, both in Tennessee and beyond, the picture is mixed. While more and more Hispanic students are enrolling in universities, they often don't complete their degrees. Poverty and a legacy of undereducation in their families may explain this. Nonetheless, Hispanic Americans, more than any other group, see education as the path to a successful future.
My dream job is to be a math teacher, and my parents have never refused of it. They have refused to some of my dreams, which I also wanted to be like a professional chef. But then my dad was like, no, because you're like here every day and I don't want you to live the rest of your life in a kitchen.
The spectre of deportation continues to hang over the lives of many of America's foreign-born immigrants.
Right now, I'm still illegally here. My husband is American citizen, so we're in the process to get me legally here.
Carla Ruiz moved to Nashville in 1999 with her 6-year-old son. She runs a catering business.
80% of my American friends, they are very conservative. I try not to talk about it and I respect their position, but I want to show them, look, I'm here, I'm not legally here yet, but I have a son who was illegally here and he finished a career and he's doing something for this country, and I am doing something for this country. I'm not taking nothing, I'm just trying to make a living.
Well, hello, Nashville. Well, thank you. Hola. ¿Cómo está?
Last year, just down the hall from the kitchen where Miss Ruiz runs her business, Barack Obama announced an executive action that could help people like her.
And what we're saying is, until Congress fixes this problem legislatively, if you have deep ties to this country and you are willing to get right by the law and do what you need to do, then you shouldn't have to worry about being deported or being separated from your kids.
Mr. Obama's program is called the Deferred Action for Parents of Americans and Lawful Permanent Residents, or DAPA for short. It's been greeted with ire by some Republicans and with cautious optimism by some Hispanics.
What is going to happen if the next administration decide not to follow what the executive action? And I think many of the communities afraid, are they going to be first online to deportation because they give their information? And that would be my question.
By granting undocumented immigrants amnesty, Mr. Obama is wagering that America at last realizes something needs to be done about the migrant population it sees waiting at school gates and filling low-paying jobs of every kind. He's also acknowledging an emerging demographic reality. There will be 100 million Hispanic Americans by the middle of the century.
Vivir con miedo es como, no sé, yo creo que es lo más correcto, mejor darle tiempo al tiempo y no vivir con eso.
If Nashville's experience is anything to go by, a big surge of new arrivals can trigger a backlash. But Nashville offers another lesson too. Once a community is large enough, locals have a strong incentive to help it succeed if they do not want to see their economy suffer. Hispanics across America are nearing that tipping point. Already most Latino growth is from births in America, rather than fresh border crossings. In coming years, Hispanic America will be less and less a story of immigration, and more a story of a community on the rise.